Credit cards send you letters that say, "Congratulations." But it's a trap. They offer you 0% interest to move your debt. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Because what they don't tell you is this. You're about to enter the hamster wheel, and most people never get off. Here's what happens. You have a credit card. Let's say you owe $5,000, and every month you're paying $200 in interest alone. Not the actual debt, just interest. It feels like running on a treadmill. You're moving but going nowhere. Then one day you get a letter. It says, "Move your balance to our card. 0% interest for 18 months. Your brain does the math. 0%? That's $200 saved every month. That's $3,600 over 18 months. So you do it. You transfer the balance. And for a few months, it feels amazing. You're finally making progress. The debt is actually going down. But here's the thing nobody tells you. That 0%, it's not a gift. It's a countdown timer. And when it hits 0, the trap snaps shut. Let me tell you a story about my friend Sarah. Sarah transferred her credit card balance 4 times. 4 times. Each time she thought she was being smart. Each time she thought, this is the one that'll help me get ahead. 10 years later, she still had debt. In fact, she had more debt than when she started. How is that possible? That's what we're going to figure out, together. Let me introduce you to the villain in this story. It's not the credit card company. Well, not exactly. It's the system they designed, and it's brilliant. Diabolically brilliant. See, credit card companies don't make money when you pay off your debt. They make money when you keep it. So they created something called the balance transfer loop. Here's how it works. Step 1. They offer you 0% interest to move your debt to their card. You think you're winning. Step 2. They charge you a transfer fee, usually 3 to 5%. On a $5,000 balance, that's $150 to $250. Right off the bat, you're deeper. Step 3. You feel relieved, no interest, so you slow down your payments. Maybe you use that $200 you were paying in interest to buy groceries or gas or just breathe. 18 months pass, the 0% expires, and suddenly you're paying 24.99% interest on the new, higher balance because of that transfer fee you forgot about. Step 5. You panic. You look for another 0% offer. And guess what? There's always another one waiting. So you transfer again and again and again. This is the loop. And the credit card companies, they love it because every time you transfer, they get that 3 to 5% fee. And most people never actually pay off the debt. They just keep moving it. It's like playing musical chairs with money, except the music never stops and there's no chair to sit in. They have entire departments dedicated to this, people whose only job is to figure out exactly when to send you that next offer. Not too early, not too late, right when you're starting to panic about the interest kicking back in. They track your behavior, they know when you're most vulnerable, and they strike.
The contrast, what you believe versus reality. Let me paint you 2 pictures. Picture A, what you think is happening. You think balance transfers are a tool, a smart financial move. You're outsmarting the system by avoiding interest. You imagine yourself as the clever one. The banks are offering deals, and you're taking advantage. In 18 months, you'll have the debt paid off, or mostly paid off, and you'll be free. You picture yourself walking into a bank, throwing down your credit card and saying, "Paid in full." Maybe there's confetti. Maybe people clap. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. You're the hero of this story. Picture B, what's actually happening. The credit card companies have a name for you. They call you a revolver. Not because you have a gun, but because you revolve. You keep spinning in place. They've done the math. They know that 90% of people who do a balance transfer will not pay off the full balance in 18 months, transfer again when the rate expires, carry that debt for an average of 7 to 10 years. And here's the kicker. Even with 0% interest, you're still paying them. That transfer fee, it's pure profit, no risk for them. Let's do the math together. You transfer $5,000 with a 3% fee. That's $150. Then you do it again in 18 months, another $150. And again, another $150. Over 10 years, you've transferred 6 to 7 times. That's $900 to $1,050 in fees alone. Plus, every time you transfer, your credit score takes a small hit because you're opening new accounts and closing old ones, and that makes it harder to get good rates on car loans, mortgages, or anything else. So the free 0% interest, it's costing you thousands. And the worst part? You feel like you're being smart, like you're gaming the system, but the house always wins. Here's an analogy. Imagine you're playing poker, but the dealer gets to see your cards, and they get to shuffle the deck whenever they want, and they make the rules. Would you still play? Of course not. You'd walk away. But with credit cards, we don't walk away, because we don't realize we're playing a rigged game. The real cost. Breaking down the numbers. Let's get specific, because numbers make this real. Meet Tom. Tom has $8,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest. If Tom pays $300 a month, it'll take him 36 months to pay it off. He'll pay $2,800 in interest. That hurts, but it's manageable. Now Tom sees a balance transfer offer. 0% for 18 months, 3% transfer fee. He transfers, pays the $240 fee, now he owes $8,240. For the first 6 months, Tom pays $300 a month. He's making progress. He pays off $1,800. But then life happens. His car needs new tires, $600. His dog gets sick, $400. His sister's wedding, $800. Suddenly, Tom can only pay $150 a month, the minimum. 18 months have passed. He's paid off $3,900. He still owes $4,340. The 0% expires. Rate jumps to $24.99. Tom panics, finds another transfer, another 3% fee. Now he owes $4,470. He repeats this cycle 3 more times over 6 years. Total paid in transfer fees, $1,200. Total interest paid when he finally pays it off, $3,400. Total time to become debt-free, 8 years. If Tom had just stuck with the original card and paid $300 a month, 3 years, $2,800 in interest, done. The balance transfers cost him 5 extra years and $1,800 more. Why? Because the transfers gave him permission to slow down, to think he had more time. And that permission is expensive.
A new problem appears. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what if I actually do pay it off in 18 months? Great question. Here's the problem. Life happens. Your car breaks down, your kid needs braces, the furnace dies in the middle of winter, and suddenly that $500 you were putting toward the credit card every month, it's gone. So you make the minimum payment instead. Just for a few months, you tell yourself. But a few months turns into 6 months, then a year, and now the 0% is about to expire, and you still owe $3,000. So what do? You transfer again. This is how the loop gets you. Not because you're bad with money, but because you're human. And the credit card companies know this. They design the system around it. They know you'll have emergencies. They know you'll slow down payments. They know you'll need to transfer again. That's not a bug in their system. It's a feature. Think about it like this. If credit card companies actually wanted you to pay off your debt, they'd send you tips, strategies, encouragement. But they don't. They send you offers for more credit, more cards, more transfers, because your debt is their asset. When you owe money, they make money. When you're struggling, they're profiting. It's not personal, it's just business. But it sure feels personal when you're the one drowning. The villain twist, the psychology trick. Here's where it gets really sneaky. Credit card companies use something called mental accounting. It's a psychological trick, and it works like this. When you transfer your balance to a new card, Your brain treats it like a fresh start. The old card? That's in the past. It's gone. You feel lighter. The new card? That's clean, shiny, 0% interest. So even though you owe the exact same amount of money, it feels different. And because it feels different, you act differently. You might even use the old card again, just for emergencies, you say. But then the emergency is dinner, or a new pair of shoes, or a concert ticket. And 6 months later, you have $5,000 on the new card and $2,000 on the old card. Now you owe $7,000, plus fees. This is called balance transfer bloat, and it's incredibly common. Studies show that 60% of people who do a balance transfer end up with more total debt within 2 years, not less, more. Because the transfer didn't solve the root problem, it just moved it. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. You're still sinking. Or like cleaning your room by shoving everything into the closet. It looks better, but the mess is still there. And eventually, that closet door is going to burst open. The psychology gets even worse. Every time you transfer, you get a dopamine hit. Your brain rewards you for solving the problem. But you didn't solve it, you postponed it. And that dopamine hit makes you more likely to transfer next time. You're literally training your brain to stay in the loop. It's behavioral conditioning, Pavlov's dog, except instead of drooling at a bell, you're clicking accept on transfer offers. The hidden danger, what they don't tell you. There's another problem with balance transfers that nobody talks about. They mess with your credit utilization. Here's what that means. Credit scores look at how much of your available credit you're using. If you have a $10,000 limit and you owe $5,000, you're using 50%. That's bad. Credit scores like to see under 30%. When you transfer a balance, you close the old account or stop using it. That reduces your total available credit, so your utilization goes up and your score goes down. Which means when you go to buy a house or refinance your car, you get worse rates. One woman I know transferred her balance and her credit score dropped 40 points. 40 points! That doesn't sound like much, but it was the difference between getting approved for a mortgage at 6.5% and getting denied completely. She had to wait 2 years, rebuild her score, and during those 2 years, housing prices went up 15%. That balance transfer cost her tens of thousands of dollars in the long run, and she had no idea it was coming. Because the credit card offer, it doesn't mention that. It just shows you the 0% in big, bold letters. The fine print is always where they get you. The hero's journey. How to escape. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about how to actually get out. Because you can get out, but you have to do it differently. Step 1. Stop transferring. I know, it sounds obvious, but this is the hardest step. You have to commit to not taking the next 0% offer, even when it shows up in your mailbox, even when it looks tempting, because every transfer resets the clock and you never actually make progress. Throw those offers away. Unsubscribe from the emails. Block the number, whatever it takes. Step 2. List all your debts. Get a piece of paper, write down every credit card, the balance, the interest rate, all of it. This is going to hurt, I'm not going to lie. Seeing the total number is painful, but you can't fight what you can't see. Step 3. Attack the debt with the highest interest rate first. This is called the avalanche method. Make minimum payments on all your cards, then take every extra dollar you have and throw it at the card with the highest rate. Why? Because that's the card that's bleeding you dry. That's the one costing you the most. Once that card is paid off, move to the next highest rate. Some people prefer the snowball method. That's where you pay off the smallest balance first, regardless of interest rate. Why? Because it feels good. You get a quick win. Either method works. Pick the one that keeps you motivated. Step 5. Cut up the cards. Not all of them, but the ones you can't control. If you have a card you keep using just for emergencies, and those emergencies happen every week,
That card needs to go. Freeze it in a block of ice if you have to, whatever it takes. The point is to create friction, make it harder to use. Step 6. Create a visual tracker. This is the secret weapon. Get a piece of paper, draw a thermometer. Every time you make a payment, color in the thermometer. Why does this work? Because paying off debt is invisible. You don't see progress. You just see a number going down slowly. But a visual tracker tricks your brain. It makes the progress real. And when you see that thermometer filling up, it motivates you to keep going. Hang it on your fridge or your bathroom mirror. Somewhere you'll see it every day. Step 7. Find extra money. This is where you get creative. Can you sell stuff you don't use? Old clothes, furniture, electronics? Can you pick up a side gig, drive for Uber, walk dogs, tutor kids? Can you cut one subscription, one dinner out per month? Every extra $20 helps. Every dollar you throw at the debt is a dollar that's not collecting interest. Step 7. Celebrate small wins. Paid off $1,000? Celebrate. Make your favorite dinner, watch a movie, do something. Because this journey is long, and if you don't celebrate the wins, you'll burn out. Progress deserves recognition, even small progress. Here's the thing you need to remember. Balance transfers aren't evil, but they're not magic either. They're tools, and like any tool, they can help you or hurt you. The difference is how you use them. If you transfer once, make a plan, attack the debt aggressively, and stick to it, great, you might actually save money. But if you're transferring every 18 months for the last 5 years, you're not solving the problem, you're feeding it. The loop only works if you keep playing, so stop playing. Attack the debt, track your progress, cut up the cards, find extra money, celebrate the wins. And remember, the bank makes money when you stay stuck. You make progress when you get out. Sarah, my friend I told you about at the beginning, she finally broke the cycle. It took her 3 years, but she did it. In the day she made her last payment, she cried. Happy tears, because freedom feels amazing. You can have that too. You just have to decide that the loop ends now. Not next year, not after one more transfer. Now.